The GT styling without the performance. Regal Kia has given us the 2023 Kia K5 GT line in Glacier White Pearl with red and black accents. Starting off with the K adaptive LED headlamps at daytime runnings, working down the lower with 5.3 inches of clearance, which is going to be better than the new Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry, and Nissan Altima. The Tiger Nose grille is pushed in more. The Kia badging is going to be pushed out more, so it gives an 80s vibe, which I like how Kia is doing this, because even in the Hyundai line, they do the same thing with the Ioniq 5 with the same type of fascia. Tri-headlamp assembly makes this look a little bit more luxurious also. So you get a touch of that, plus the performance cues that's backed with this. With these upgraded wheels, because this is the GT line, standard will be a 16-inch 5-spoke alloy wheels. The GT line will feature these 18-inch gloss black finish alloy wheels, black side view mirror caps with LED turn signals, the rear spoiler blacked out, GT line exterior styling. The K5 keeps that sport back look, a length at 193.1 inches with a wheelbase at 112.2 inches. So if you do not want to option the Kia Stinger for 23, you could do the Kia K5 and you still have that same fastback design, the chrome that's going to implement and wrap all the way around the back of the rear window with the gloss black LED tail lamps. These are combination tail lamps because of that GT line package. Even though this is not the GT with 290 horsepower, it still stresses performance. Unlike the Toyota, if you get the base 4-cylinder, the rear is going to be very simple, and the same thing for the Honda Accord and Nissan. You really have to up the price to over $30,000, in which this is now a deal because you have that performance cues because of the GT line. The lower is going to look more aggressive. Side gills, all gloss black, which is better than that matte black, because let's face it, I'm in the state of Florida. It's hot out here. The sun blistering onto a matte black will turn it like a chalk color, whereas the gloss black will keep that color even in these hot environments. When you push the button, you're going to get 16 cubic feet of storage. Underneath, a spare tire. Split fold the rear bench at a 40/60 in the back. That will increase the cargo to the sedan. However, it's still going to be a little bit shy compared to Toyota and Honda. Turbocharged Smart Stream. Let's go inside, start up so you can hear that exhaust note. And they back the performance with a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, producing 180 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque that's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving 27 to 37 mpgs, reaching 60 just under 8 seconds. The GT line on the K5 headroom is going to start at 40.2 inches legroom, 46.1 inches, which is the best amongst all of the competition. 10-way power seat adjustment, heated front seats, GT badging, perforated, contrast stitch with the red and black. The dashboard starts off with a 2-tier. The top is going to be more flat drive, with a 10.25 touchscreen with navigation. We have the pinch and the swipe. When you click here, you'll have your quick wedges that you could just toggle through. Click the home button. We have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM streaming, Bluetooth audio, Kia connection. Switch it to reverse. We have a reverse camera with full trajectory. You still have the screen here on the side, which takes a little bit away from the actual reverse camera. Click here and you can change the camera image. It's more of a driver focused setup, so you will have the cutoff here, and on the passenger side you'll see a little bit harder to go into the USB and the 12 volt in that little storage area. Leather around the gear lever, your driver mode select. The cup holders, I would say you could fit probably a 20 ounce without any issues. When you go into the driver mode select, you have a smart, normal, sport, and custom. wireless charging pad. You just slide it in here. More sport derived, open up inside, and it's a deep pocket, push back a little bit. Leather wrap steering wheel, 3-spoke, flat bottom, GT line, multi-function. The gloss black will be on the stocks. The door panel configures into the dashboard with your everyday materials, satin aluminum line that brushes into more everyday materials, sport derived for your elbows, one touch up and down for the front windows, and a little grab handle here as well as here. A long storage pocket with one beverage holder. For the back seats, 37.8 inches of headroom, 35.2 inches of legroom. I have a lot of room in the back. 2 USB-C ports, nothing here for air vents, storage behind both of the front seats. The door panel gets the same materials as the front. So you get the satin aluminum. It's going to be more everyday materials pretty much everywhere. A little bit sporty for your elbows. And you get this little area here that covers up for the one touch up and down. A bottle or beverage holder is all that will be able to fit next to the speaker. Sitting into the center, headroom is still not an issue, nor is the leg space. I will be sharing feet, butt, and shoulder space. Even though this is not as wide as the Honda and Toyota, you still have sufficient room to fit 3 adults in the back. 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder with 180 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. The torque is going to be the most compared to everybody. Horsepower is going to be more than the Toyota base model. If we can get a chance to go, here we go. It feels pretty quick. The steering has a little weight to it. Visibility, it's a larger windscreen. It's also pushed back a little bit more so than the Kia Stinger. So if you don't want to option a Sportback and you want the sedan, this is definitely something easier and more practical for a tall person, whereas the Stinger, I have to go like this in order to see the stoplights. The sound deadening gets improved when you get into the GT line. You get acoustic windows. There's no more LX, it's now an LXS, which will be the base trim. So now there's only 4 different options, which does make it a little bit easier if you are optioning a K5. In a GT line, I probably would do it myself because of all the additives that you get. Now that's gonna take me to some things I like and dislike, and starting off with is what I like. The K5 is one of the sportiest exterior presentations compared to Honda, Toyota, and Nissan. Unless you get the TRD and you're spending over $30,000 to near $40,000, huge savings you'll get here. You're not going to have that same power though. That's a V6 with 301 horsepower. They lower the ride 0.6 inches and they tune the suspension with the TRD. They don't do anything to the engine, but it's going to be a little bit more dynamic and it will be comparable to the actual GT K5. The second thing that I like about it is how the grille integrates into the front fascia, because it gives that 80s vibe, in which that's period correct. The last thing that I like is this is a smaller variant, meaning this is not 290 horsepower, this is 190 horsepower, and you still have the pep to get you where you need to be. 3 things that I dislike about the vehicle is the driver focus setup. It's a smaller interior design. It works for Toyota because it's a wider vehicle in the interior. You just don't need this much sport attributes for a daily family use car. Maybe for the GT, it's a little bit more presentable, but for this, I would say, you know, take this wall down so it's easier to use the charging port on the passenger side. The second thing that I dislike is the GT line doesn't give you power seat adjustment for the passenger. I wish that they at least gave 4-way power seat adjustment, but look what you get. It's not going to throw you back. You're not expecting that, but it is going to give you the same factor of performance in a daily blend vehicle. The second thing that I dislike is this wireless charging pad. I just don't like the Cadillac design. GMC does it, Chevrolet does it, and they put this here right in front of your armrest and the storage box. You have to slide it in. It makes the phone hotter than it needs to be. These QI chargers already heat up the phone enough. I don't need more heat to be added to it because it's in a box. The last thing that I dislike is the gloss black underneath the rear window. And I understand the Kia Stinger is the Sportback, so you'll have the hatchback and this is a sedan, but they could have configured it differently so that way it looks a little bit more performance oriented in the back as it does in the front. Turn radius at more or less a stop point is going to get right at 2 lanes. Interior road noise comes in a little bit, but the sound deadening is better than the TRD Camry. As for your base Camry, it's also better than that. If you just go into the basic models like an XSE, that one will be a little bit more quiet. The TRD is going to be more noisy because it's lowered. In the base model, they just don't give as much sound deadening. As for the Honda Accord, that one is going to be a lot more quiet because they redid the whole interior to make it a lot more soundproof. The Nissan Altima will filter in a lot of road noise, and the best variant there would be the VC turbocharged engine. As for a daily use car, practical, I mean, around 30 grand. You get the sport cues on the exterior. They bring some of the vibes inside. You get the 80s styling for the front with that tiger nose grille. I like the case for your signature daytime running. So they do a lot of things that really make this stand out a little bit more so than the competition. The seats are comfortable. It doesn't feel wide at all. In the interior, it actually feels a little bit more sporty because of this driver focused setup. Blind spots, you're not really gonna have too many because of the way it's structured. They give you that third window, same thing as Honda and pretty much all of the rivals. I'd like to thank Regal Kia for giving us this 2023 Kia K5 GT line for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video and the subscribe button. Check out the merchandise, website, Instagram, leave a comment and a like.